Hello everyone, my name is John here, and I'm here to share a little bit of my experience on how did I manage to quit smoking. I'm proud to say that at this moment I'm 3 years free from any form of tobacco in my life. It all started basically through a friend of mine who happened to be an ex-smoker of himself, and he actually gave me a book to read. And in this book I kind of learned a little bit of, about how does cigarette actually affects a person, and why is it that we tend to realize without realizing that we actually need it, even though we've been told by countless of people in our lives that it's very bad for our health. And despite of all the campaigns, even those very scary looking pictures that you find in the cigarette box and all that, but yet still, we will still go back to our usual habit of buying a box and inhaling a stick in the morning and all throughout the whole day. I think the most important thing that we need to understand is what does cigarette does to us? How does it affect us? And to start all that, I think we need to admit ourselves that we are an addict. Yes, just like any other form of addiction, drugs, sex, gambling, cigarette is also part and parcel of the cycle of addiction. It basically is that the mind has been hijacked and made to believe and telling you that you need it as a form of survival. One very common excuse that I used to give to people back then when I was smoking is that I needed to relieve my stress due to the pressure from work and all that. But actually it's kind of silly, because you realize that you have so many of your colleagues who don't smoke. They do have the same challenge in their job, they do go through the same pressure, but yet they never needed a cigarette to relieve their stress. And of course, another common excuse that we used to get from people is it's always nice to have a stick after a meal. But actually that's not true. You know why? Because you will enjoy your meal no matter what. No matter what. So it doesn't matter whether you need a cigarette or not. So the fact is that the mind is channeling this information to you that you need it for your survival. And once you begin to know the truth, you tend to go through this sense of realization that, well, yeah, I think I've been living a big fat lie all my life. A cigarette is not really that important to me. I don't really need it. But of course this process doesn't come instantly, because it takes some time, because with this sense of realization, you gradually will come to a point where you reduce your cigarette intake, and eventually you will throw away your last stick. For me, it took me at least about 2 to 3 days. And of course with a change of lifestyle comes this certain thing called withdrawal syndrome. Well, for me, I think that process didn't took me that long, maybe in a week or two. And eventually after that, I'm proud to say that I started a brand new life, a life without the need of nicotine, cigarette or tobacco. And I must say that this has been considered like one of the biggest achievement in my life. Of course, there has been lately we've been hearing things like nicotine patches, and of course e-cigarette for that matter. Well, I must say, all that is nonsense. It's not really going to help anyway. So I would advise you that if you have the intention to quit, just say no to any form of tobacco or nicotine consumption for that matter. I hope that that's all I have to say, and through this short video. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my friend Dr. Daisy for allowing me to do this, to share my own experience on how did I manage to quit smoking. And before I end this video, I also like to remind there's also another important factor that comes along with this, is that you also need the support of your family and friends. I'm glad that I had that around me, because their encouragement was also equally important for me to quit smoking. And I hope you will be inspired by this video from what I have to say, even though it's just short and brief. And I wish everyone all the best. Thank you.